Well, hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm getting back on the Mustang, but it's not an easy road. Let's get started. All right, guys. So here I am back in the shop, and I I had this whole thing in my head where I was going to share with you about the next thing, what you can do first on your model. But like many things in life in 2020, things are not exactly going my way. So let me get this camera turned around here and bring you all up to speed on what's going on. Alrighty, so here's the build table. I got my workbench and I've got a piece of ceiling tile here for like pinning stuff down. It's kind of like corkboard, but anyway, more on that in a minute. What's important is I've gone through and already built the horizontal stabilizer and elevators, mostly because see these rib things? Those are inside here. But I was missing half of them. I was missing half of them on the horizontal stabilizer, and I had to cut those out by hand. But I got to the vertical stabilizer, and I'm missing even more problematic pieces. So the kit, it came to me loose, kind of like this. It was more consolidated than that. Obviously, I've been rummaging through the parts here. But then I come to find I'm building out the vertical stabilizer here in the instructions. Starting here, need to pin stuff down on the build table, and that bottom rib, number 1, it was missing. I had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 was actually loose in the box. I had to dig and find that, and not to mention my whole rudder template gone. Completely missing. So, in addition to that, I put it away already. So anyway, there are these pieces that so this is the trailing edge of the vertical stabilizer, and there are also leading edge of the rudder pieces. There's 2 of them, and you glue them together to make a sandwich, and it gives a lot of structure for this piece. Yeah, the trailing edge pieces that are in that picture, they were missing entirely. So I had to, thankfully, I had these in the box, but not the pieces I needed. So I traced them, and I have to cut these out. Now this is 1/4 inch thick, what is called for, but this is hard balsa, not regular balsa. And I'm kind of okay with that because, again, this is going to be the stabilizer. If I do have some sort of nose over, these are going to take the brunt of that impact when it noses over, and I'm not going to be as likely to break off the vertical stabilizer or rudder. So, okay with this. I have to use this material again because I only have one of the leading edge of the rudder for some. Anyway, anyway, so piece missing there. So then I come over to do the missing piece here, and what I did was I took this whole sheet here and I traced it onto this other piece of wood that I cut that out of, and I'm roughly marking here. I'm going to go through and lightly sand this to shape. I mean, obviously these parts I can cut, but this part that was roughly drawn, I'm going to sand a little bit, hold it over the plans, sand a little bit, hold it over the plans, and get that shape right. So then moving on with this piece, I didn't know what this profile looked like on the nose end, so I looked at the approximate change between 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and 4 and 5, and it is pretty linear. I mean, it's a diagonal, so it should be fairly linear in terms of how thick that cord gets. So it's about 1/4 to 1/2 millimeter from one rib to the next. And so I did that correspondingly here, and I needed that in order to draw a mid mark, and that way I could hold it over. So this piece here, you can see where the nose of it was going straight down before this middle section piece broke off. So that way I could trace it and get this reference line. So we're going to build it on the surface, on the building surface. We're going to conform everything, and then we're going to flip everything over. And I need to know how far back to trim wood and where to sand to. And I just don't, I didn't know that because I have no reference mark on the leading edge because it was broken off here. Grr. Now, moving forward, I know this is really long-winded, but you guys, what we're going to do here is with these, again, I don't have a reference mark, but what you can do, so this came out of this hole. So what you do is you flip it upside down. And because this is a symmetrical piece, we can roughly position it in this hole. And then I can draw my reference line here of where I need to sand to. So I need to do that on all my ribs. Then I can do my assembly based off the manual. And really, it's just following the instructions. There's nothing too terribly difficult. So guys, I'm getting off to kind of a rocky start here. Have had a few distractions getting things kicked off. Obviously, I have a life, and I hope you understand that, but the Mustang build is started. So I will get more into that in another video, but I had to stop here and stop myself and show you guys because this is a learning experience that a lot of you may not know as you build from a kit. That sometimes, like if you buy it online or from someone else, things are missing, and it's okay. There's other techniques I could show you to like extrapolate the airfoil, but you know, I'm not going to go into those now because it's not applicable to this build. We'll get to another build, I'm sure, sometime in the future, and I can show you how to do that. In the meantime, let me get this assembled, and I'll show you what it looks like in each stage of the process. All right? All right, so here we are, all framed up. I did get the trailing edge cut out and glued together and sanded flush with each other. It's a lot of work. I have sawdust all over me. It's pretty great. So what I wanted to point out though is, see here we have this angle, and when you put it over the plans, the formers actually have an angle in them. So a lot of people I see in building online where they will simply just take the former and glue it in place, and they'll just sort of jam it in there. I don't think that's necessarily the right way. What I usually do is I look at where this angle is and try to sand that angle into the wood. So here it's flush for like a 90 degrees, so I will actually sand an angle into it, and you can see how I did that on these joints where I've already framed things up. So just sand a little bit of a bevel into it, and it will line up just perfectly. Alright, and that's the finished project. It's really all I have time for today, but I did get these glued in and applied a little bit of extra medium CA on all these glue joints. Just to make sure they're okay. I am, once I get this off the build surface, I am going to sand this flush. I always do a bit of overage here to sand things flush, except where, you know, there's a specifically cut part. This is just a piece of stock that's supplied in the kit, and I will also be cutting here to get this overage off as well before I remove it from the build surface. The instructions tell us to skin each side with some 1/16 balsa, and we'll make sure that that skin is applied with it completely flat on the build surface. So a few more steps to go, but I had to show you guys this and how to troubleshoot it, how to go through it, because it's aggravating. Well, I hope you guys learned something today. It's part of the reason why things have been so slow for me to get out updates to you guys, because I'm trying to get things positioned to make a video to show you how to do something, but it's like these little pieces here and there that just have not been in the kit, and I have to make them from scratch. So coming up, I'm going to be talking about the project, the status of it, some plans for it, some things that have changed, and also I'll be including some other building tips along the way, like how to conceal your gaps between control surfaces. I'll be showing you how to do that on the horizontal stabilizer. So lots more things to look forward to. It's building season, guys. Get those kits out, get that foam out, get the glue out, and make yourself a flying work of art.